Coach Fjelstul, so great to see you. We had a great conversation about coaching and course management and the love and the passion you have for your players and growing them not just into great golfers, but into great young men. And I'm so thankful for you. I want to get into the world of recruiting for you. You and I have gotten to have a few conversations about recruiting over the last couple of months, but I want to talk a little bit more about mental toughness, but really from how you're evaluating that with your recruits. What tells you that someone is mentally tough to succeed at the college level? Is there something that you see or hear that you know that they might have that?
Hi, Matt. Thank you very much again for asking me. I think that's a loaded question, but that's why you asked it.
It is
So,
because even as a basketball coach, it's hard to know if a kid's got what it takes to handle the pressure that they're going to go through.
and
Basically starting over.
you don't know, and nobody knows. Five-star recruits at the Division I level that never pan out, and then you see walk-ons that work hard for 5 years and become All-Americans and get drafted into the NFL. And it's a work ethic. You hope somebody works as hard as you want them to work. But I think an 18-year-old has a lot of things to learn. It's not a guess, but you don't ever know how somebody's going to turn out. And I'm very fortunate. I have great young men from great families, but I have some players that have had some great resumes, but they were better golfers in high school. And they just didn't develop and grow. They worked really hard. They just couldn't get to the next level, no matter how many times we talk about things. Or I don't think I hindered them, tried to help them as much as I can, but everybody grows at a different level. But I think providing the right environment to grow and mature and the value of hard work, I think that's very important in college athletics. And some young people have a lot of success and they've probably worked hard, but I think college athletics, you take it up another level of hard work and what we expect out of our players, all while they're being a student and going to class and doing homework and all those things too. So that's a time management thing, but you don't ever really know. You're hopeful, but I've been lucky that I've had a lot of good players that have worked hard and been very successful. Recruiting is a very big thing that is not perfect for every single school or every single situation, I guess.
I'm finding I'm working I'm finding these days I'm working so hard on the parents as much as the athletes coming out of high school to get them to understand that division, conference, scholarship need to be your last thought and how important fit of who you are as a person and the people that you're going to go be with, not just the players on the team and the faculty, but the coaches and all those things.
Yeah.
How big of a role is that to really figure out what you're made of and have the resilience and the determination to find that work ethic and joy of the game starts with finding the right fit.
You're exactly right. The parents are such an important part of recruiting a young person. You're recruiting their parents. They've got to like you. They've got to like your opportunity. They've got to like what you say or like what you provide their child. I love recruiting parents. I love talking to people. So it's fun for me because I can talk about us and I can talk about Luther and I can talk about our successes for a long time. But recruiting parents is very important because I think we provide a lot of great opportunities here at Luther. It's a great place to go to school, great opportunities, great education. Over in the corner, we've got a golf team, and I think we're pretty good, and I think we've had success. But it's still a small part of the big picture of getting a college degree. And I think that's what's neat about a Division III program. That's still the main focus in our recruiting. But young people grown up in great situation, great families, all of those things, you can tell right away. They look you in the eye, very attentive. Every once in a while, some people aren't as attentive as other young people. So, do they really want to be there? That type of thing. But I love talking to parents because they need to know all those things too. This is going to be home for the next 4 years. And that's all I ever say to anybody. I think this is a place to call home because it's a really good place. But it's a very important part of the process.
I know this is going to be a challenging question because you probably don't think about this all the time, but is there something when you have that conversation with a parent and a student athlete on campus where you're just like, this is, they're right for me? This is a family and a kid that really fits me. Are there things that you hear that you go, that's what I wanted? That's what I was looking for?
There is, and I see that all the time. And I'm very lucky that I've gotten a lot of those people over the years. You're not going to get everybody that you want
Yeah.
in the recruiting process, but you have a great feeling because you can feel or sense that they all like what you're saying.
Okay.
They first of all came here to visit. They came here to meet me. I really like having lunch with your players. They're great young men. They say so many things about you, coach. They like what you do for them. And so that's another part of our recruiting process is they spend some time with my players and have lunch with them. And I say, ask every question you want to ask. I'm an open book. I like us, but I get that feeling all the time. And it's a really neat thing because there's so many great families, great young men, confident, mature, that are great students, and they're a great fit for us.
Yeah. There's just that sense that they loved it there and the energy's already there. They're already excited just being, they're not a part of the team yet. And they're already excited about being a part of that day.
Yep, you're right.
You're such a positive person. So this is going to be a hard one for you, but I'm going to remind you, this is an educational podcast. So as much as we can open up and
Sure.
get people thinking, get them thinking the right things and understanding how you think, are there red flags that you see from a student athlete or a parent where you're like, that's just not going to work here. This isn't going to be the right place for this family.
Yeah. Thankfully, that doesn't happen too much.
Sure.
And so that's good.
You probably nip a lot of that on the bud early on.
Yeah, I think you can nip that. You're exactly right. Because my time, their time, coming to visit, communication, the whole thing. Still trying to find the right fit. Who fits me? Who fits my team? Who fits my family and our college? And body language is important. Attentiveness. You can get a feel in a conversation, even about work ethic. And sometimes over the years, I've had a dad, more times than a mom, dad lead the conversation, and dad talk all the time. But I'd like to hear more from the young man.
Right.
Because he might make the decision to come join our team. But the father is telling me everything and telling me all the great characteristics and all of those things. And I think all of those things need to come out from the young person and whatever the traits and qualities. But I think a lot of coaches can see great traits, great characteristics, great values from young people and their parents in conversations. And that is so important.
Humility.
Yes.
Is that a key for you, that there's a passion and a confidence, but also some humility with it?
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's part of it. There's a wide range of things, but it's all part of it.
Can you tell that a kid loves the game?
Yes. You can see it in their eyes. And when they talk about practice in the next tournament they're going to play in and all of those things, you can almost feel it in the room. Yeah. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah. It's the beginning of work ethic, I think. Love it. It's hard to go hit 300 balls. Yeah.
And I just say college athletics is 4 times higher than high school athletics.
Yeah.
In whatever sport.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely.
going to take a lot of work. And I think most families understand it, but the biggest thing in college athletics is time management. And a young person's getting an education. I think they're getting a great education at Iowa or Oklahoma State, and they're getting a great education at Luther too. But time management as a student athlete is so big. And they might have 4 tests or 4 papers that week. And those are a lot more important than a golf tournament
Yeah.
or a couple of golf practices. But learning how to manage your time, that you leave the golf course, go get something to eat, and you take off your Titleist hat and you put on your academic hat because you've got 4 hours worth of homework that night. And so learning how to take care of yourself and manage all of that time and work required.
Absolutely. And when you say 4 times from high school to college in terms of work ethic and things that go with it, that's not hyperbole. I mean,
No, no.
that's not an exaggeration. That's the reality. I don't think kids understand that, let alone parents, how much more work has got to go into it to
Yeah.
be really good or just be average at the college level compared to what you were doing in high school.
And they've got to be willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
And not everybody does, and not everybody wants to, because sometimes success in sports has come easy because they're so talented.
Yeah.
And they have so many opportunities, and that's great. But we want to take you to the national level,
Yeah.
and I want you to be an All-American,
Yeah.
and that's going to take work. But the best thing for me, Matt, is I've had 38 academic All-Americans, and they've
Fantastic.
played really good golf, and they've gotten really good grades, and they've represented me and my family and our program at our college in many great ways. But that's the neatest thing to put on their resume, that they're an academic All-American.
That's one per year, coach. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And so it's
That's
awesome.
unheard of.
I'm so proud of these young men and their families, but it started with their work ethic
Yeah.
and how hard they worked at school, how hard they worked at golf to perform at a high level and shoot good scores. And they learned how to manage their time.
Yeah. If the work ethic is there on the course and in the classroom, that's character. If it's
Yeah,
just
it
there
is.
for the golf
It
course,
is. Yeah.
then it's not there for the classroom. And we question the character.
And I'm very lucky. I love all sports. I'm a big fan of everything. But I think golfers have great character, great integrity, and a great passion. And that's just part of the game of golf.
Yeah. I find myself writing about that so often when I write every week. You look at what Tommy did last year, that great tournament. He was the only one that saw that ball move. Took the penalty on himself, and he might have cost him the tournament going through what he did. You don't have that in any other sport. Tommy Fleetwood last year.
Yeah, no.
All right, let's clear up some recruiting stuff. I think if I put coaches in a room and I put parents and athletes in a room, it doesn't matter the sport. I go, okay, what do you think a college coach is looking for in terms of evaluating you? And then you ask coaches the same question about how they evaluate. You typically get two pretty extreme answers.
Sure.
So I'm going to throw some things at you, and I want you to kind of walk me through what's really important to you and what's not so important to you when you're evaluating a recruit.
Okay.
Rankings, average score, handicap, average course length that they play, their home course, tournament golf experience, how far they drive the ball, their accolades, all conference, honors, things like that. What jumps out at you when I give you that list that you're like, that's important to me? That's going to translate to college success.
Everything? No. I think every coach will say that, but coaches have the availability to see a lot of stats, see videos, see tournament results, see rankings, see all that stuff that we didn't have 30 years ago. And so it's really neat today to have all that information available to us. Good tournament results, high finishes, accolades are good, because you want somebody that handles the pressure
Yeah.
and can be tournament tough
Yeah.
and do that on somewhat of a consistent basis. Rankings, maybe yes, maybe no, because maybe a young person in high school is in three sports
Yeah.
and they want to focus on a certain sport in college. And so I love the multi-sport athlete because they've probably been successful at each one of them. But I think you learn the values of teamwork and a lot of things being in other sports too. And then when you have the time to commit to one sport, in my world, golf, and you work all summer long because you just finished your senior year by playing three different sports, that's fun to think about the possibilities of that hard work.
Yeah.
And character, though, body language, who they are, how they look at me in the eye, all those type of things are very important. And sometimes you get recommendations and all that stuff. I love reading letters of recommendation because that talks about the young person
Yeah.
and who they are, and sometimes about their family too, which is awesome because a young person coming in to my golf team is now part of my family.
Yeah. And it's different from you than a basketball or football coach. As a basketball coach, I have to manage relationships with 20 some kids oftentimes. You might have 8 to 10, maybe 12 on your roster at a time, and you get
Right.
really in depth with each young man.
Yeah.
And that relationship, I would imagine, grows so much faster than a football or a baseball or basketball coach because of that individual time.
No doubt.
It's
And
got
I
to
think
matter.
you no doubt we spend so much time together. And I think every mom understands that their golfer is going to come home at dark after leaving the golf course, playing around the golf, practicing chipping putting, come home. What's on the stove, mom? What's for dinner tonight? It's 8:30 at night. But it's the same thing in college. We practice a lot. We put a lot of time in. And
Yeah.
so very important.
I'm going to put your feet to the fire a little bit here. A kid comes to you and is interested in playing for you. What are some of your first questions that you ask in terms of just finding out how good of a golfer they are without seeing their swing? What are some of those things that you ask so you get an idea of what their
Okay.
ability is?
So you can ask the basics of what's your handicap and scoring average.
What are you looking for with those two things? What gets you into
If,
that kid pretty quickly?
if somebody's a scratch or a plus handicap, because we've been very successful
Yeah.
and nothing against it, but somebody that's got a high handicap isn't going to perform for us. But is it a good handicap? Good scoring average? Where did you play? What type of tournaments did you play in? Or was it all local? You've got a good conference, state competition, that type of thing. And then I always ask a couple questions. Please tell me what are some strengths of your golf game? And then tell me a weakness or two. And then tell me what you like to practice. So a lot of times young people say they like to practice their strengths. And I say, I do too, because that's fun. But we're going to come at it from the other angle that we're going to practice our weaknesses a little bit to try and make them stronger so we can perform on the golf course and hit those shots when we need to do that. And then how much do you practice? And how much do you practice the short game?
And that speaks to the love as much as the work ethic, right?
Yeah. I get home at dark every night.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that young man right now just because they're at the golf course all day practicing and playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah. You got to love it.
Yeah.
Is there a handicap that you hear that you're just like, yeah, it's just not going to work? There's probably other
Oh,
places you need.
probably double digits. And I don't mean anything against a 10 or a 12 handicap.
Yeah.
And I've had all kinds of young men come join our program with all kinds of handicaps. But what I love about them is they're great young men and they work really hard and they're very determined.
Yeah.
And if you have that determination and that drive and you're going to work hard, more times than not, they're all conference their senior year and have a chance to win tournaments
Yeah.
and help the team be successful. So you can't judge that determination and that work ethic completely in the recruiting process, but you can get a feeling about it.
Yeah. Would you say that most kids maybe can improve 1 to 2 strokes every year? So if they're coming in as a 10, they're probably never going to be better than maybe a 5 or a 6 by their
Probably
senior.
good,
Makes sense.
probably a good comment. Yep.
If they're a
Yep.
7, if they're a 6 or a 7, there's a good chance that you can get them to that close to a scratch, be a kid that can score low 70s consistently
Yep.
by the
Yep.
time they're junior, senior.
Yep. I think that's a good comment.
Reasonable.
Reasonable. What's so important to me is work ethic.
Yeah.
And passion and drive.
Yeah.
And so you don't always see that on a piece of paper or a resume or a recruiting link.
Yeah. I love what you said about multi-sport athletes. And we've talked about Leo. Leo's never had a year in his life where he didn't play baseball all summer, basketball all winter. So I'm excited to see when he gets to put all of his energy into golf, what that looks like. And I'm sure you get a ton of those kids that.
Yeah, and it's fun. I'm excited about Leo just to see those opportunities
Yeah.
and all those young people that are that way. Now, this wide open door that they can focus 100% on this sport and work hard at it all summer.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you haven't done so yet, go to Luther's website and look at Coach's indoor facility. You've got a great indoor.
Can I tell you a little secret?
Please.
It's not a secret. We're very fortunate at Luther, very good president, great energy on campus.
Yeah.
Just hired another really good athletic director, following 2 very good athletic directors. Our athletic facilities is going through a $24 million renovation remodeling.
Holy cow.
I don't think many small colleges can say that.
Nope, they can't.
So in the renovation process, we had a really nice golf room before.
Right.
I have a TrackMan, 65-inch TV, all that type of stuff. We're moving into a new space that's more than 3 times bigger than a racquetball court. And we're in the process of remodeling it. And we're going to put in 3 hitting bays.
Oh, amazing.
And a putting green and probably multiple TrackMans. Everything's related to money and all that. But we're going to have 3 launch monitors, a nice indoor putting green. And I am so excited about the future because I love Luther and I'm just excited what we offer our athletes. But our new golf room, Matt, is going to blow people away.
I love the one you have now. I'm so excited. I'm coming to look. Yeah. I got to drive through Iowa in the next couple of weeks. I may be coming to see you, Coach.
Yeah, it'd be great to see you. You bet.
Yeah. I want to finish, Coach. I'm going to do a little different here.
Sure.
Usually I finish with advice, but I'm going to let you speak to the character you run your program with. I'm going to give you 2 questions I tell every families to ask when they're on a visit.
Good.
Okay. And I want you to speak to them because I already know what that answers are going to be in my heart, but I want to hear them. I want to hear you say it out loud. Student athlete comes to you and says, Coach, this is middle of the season. And they say, Coach, I got 3 tests this week. I've got 2 papers. I'm overwhelmed. I feel like I'm going to fail it all. I don't know if I can put 3 hours of practice in this week every day, or I'm going to fall back. What do I do?
Very simple answer. You're a student. You're a student at a really good college, and our professors want you to work hard in their class, but you've got to prepare for those tests and those papers. Golf takes a back seat, and do not worry about me. Do not worry about the program. Do not worry about practice. You study hard and do well in those things. Mom and Dad want you to get straight A's, and I want you to get straight A's. Very simple.
Yeah. Great answer. All right. Second question. get a phone call at 6 a.m. Kid's sick, he's throwing up, thinks he has a fever, hot mess. Mom and dad live 1,500 miles away. Coach, how do you handle that? We can't, I'm a dad, I can't get on the plane and go take care of him. How do you guys handle that?
I consider myself a second or third father to my young people. And I think that's part of a coach, that you're in that parenting role for these 4 years. And it's, would you like me to take you to the hospital? Or have you gone to health service? Or do you want me to get you something? Or Ann and I'll be right down, or usually me. But what can I get you? But we probably should get you checked out. I don't care about golf. You need to get healthy. You need to rest up, whatever you need.
That's right.
And so I'm up, ready to go. We've got things available to our students if they're sick. So let's first get them to health service on campus. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. I'm here to help in any way I can.
And for you parents out there, to understand why you ask those questions is so you can hear the soul and the spirit of the person that you're sending your child with. And that's exactly what you want to hear. You're going to hear it in different ways, but you're going to hear authentic, genuine, passionate, caring, loving, surrogate parent. So, Coach, I'm so thankful to have you in my life. I hope you're okay if I call you a friend.
Please, we are friends. So thank you very much.
I'm so excited for all the young men that get to play for you, but my cousin Leo is coming to play for you, and I couldn't be more excited about his future and what he's gonna, the mentoring that he's gonna get from you to become the young man I know he's capable of. So thank you for that, and thank you for doing this today.
You're welcome, but thank you for asking me, and thank you for letting me tell my story. I like Luther, I like us, but I'm very honored you asked me, and I appreciate it, Matt. So thank you.
Pleasure's mine. Good luck this spring.
Thank you very much.